Okay, we're good
Okay, now we're live. Hey, we're live. Okay, welcome to the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. We had a little technical difficulty there. We went on live. We weren't ready. The camera flipped around, and things went south pretty quick.
You're very excited. I mean, France just won, so I understand.
France just won. Allez les Bleus. Beautiful goal from Griezmann. A beautiful kick there from Griezmann, and the other guy, Lalane or whatever the guy's name is. What's that guy's
I don't
name?
know the France players. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I forget his name, but he scored. It was pretty sweet. I'm trying to get the comments up here, guys. I'll get the comments, and we'll be back to normal.
Someone's going to comment on your botch, I imagine.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There I am. Boom. So we got the comments rolling. You can comment on the YouTube show. We are live. It's a Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. France just won. I'm feeling pretty good about it. France now going on to take on either Brazil or Belgium in the World Cup. I'm excited. Johnny got me this sweet World Cup France jersey that I'm wearing right now.
Brings you good luck so far.
Yeah, man. It's been pretty sweet. I saw the jerseys France was wearing today, and they're like, they're white jerseys. They're pretty nice. I'm thinking about getting one of those too.
Yeah, they do look pretty sweet.
They're nice.
But good luck against Neymar. It's not going to be easy. If they face Neymar. We don't know that yet, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's either Brazil or Belgium. We'll find out later today. Antoinette saying, sharp. Dave got a haircut. Yeah, I did get a haircut. My hair was getting a little too long, a little too scraggly. So I got it shaved down yesterday, and it feels pretty good. Because it's been way too hot outside here. It's been like crazy, like 40-something degrees Celsius with the humidity, 45 or something. It's been nuts. It's been very hot, and finally today it broke. 33 people died. At least 33 people died in this heat wave so far. So it's been super hot, and now it's cooled out a little bit. It's like 26, 27 today. It's good.
I've been enjoying it. I love it when it's hot.
This hot?
Yeah.
It's been intense.
I prefer this instead of the extreme cold.
I prefer the heat instead of the cold too, but this is it's rough. It's tough to like move around. But anyways,
we complain about 7 months of winter, and we finally get some heat once in a while, and apparently it's wrong. We shouldn't have it like this. You're never happy.
Well, no, I'm happy now. Now the weather's perfect today. It was just a little bit too hot. That's all I'm saying. God, I wasn't mad about it. What are you gonna do? Andy Burrows, our boy out in England, says, "What's up, lads? Good win for France. I'm flying to Russia next Friday, so I'm there for the final." Oh man, Andy, you're gonna be at the final? Whew, you're gonna get to see France win the World Cup, man. It's gonna be amazing. It might be France and England in the World Cup, which would be crazy.
That would be nuts.
That would be pretty sweet. I'd be happy with that.
It was pretty amazing to see England finally win a game on penalties. Maybe there's something behind that.
I'd like to see England do well. Andy says he's going to see England bring it home. Not if they play France, my man. They're going to lose. I mean, come on, England's not really going to win the World Cup. You really believe England's going to win the World Cup? I don't buy it. I think they'll do all right. They may make the semis. They may make the final. But I don't think they're going to win. But if they win, I'll be happy for you, Andy. Ahmad Kadri says, "Hey guys, hello from Washington, D.C. What's up, Washington, D.C.?
What's up?
Just wanted to say that I like your show better than WWE Raw or SmackDown."
Wow.
Thank you, Ahmad.
Compared to Raw and SmackDown, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's less physical confrontations on our show. Slightly less. I mean, sometimes, I have to beat you up a little bit.
Thankfully, the bruising's healed, I think, from last week. Jeez.
You're so weak. For a pro wrestler, you're a real sissy, This is why jiu-jitsu guys and real combat sports people are the real tough guys. These pro wrestlers, it's all like fake and phony stuff, you know? The real grapplers, you guys know. It's all about real grappling. It's all about jujitsu. See, I did this when I said real grappling. I don't know why. Just something you're supposed to do, I think. Andy says this is a million times better than Raw. I agree. I mean, SmackDown's pretty good. SmackDown has Daniel Bryan, and like Johnny's pretty good, but let's face it, he's no Dan.
Or to get through, like you tweeted about.
It was a chore to get through. Mike Gives Back agrees with me. He says Raw this week was maybe the worst episode I've seen in years.
Really? Come on, like it. Remember that?
Ahmad says I think their storylines are just not engaging anymore, or maybe I'm just spoiled from the Attitude Era. I think, you know, we were all spoiled during the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock in their prime.
Yeah.
We saw the best stuff. We saw the best guys do the best things. It's never going to be like that. It'll never, ever be like that. Again, unfortunately.
This week was worse than when Bobby Lashley had his sisters. That was a pretty bad week of Raw.
Mike says, how could you not think Raw was bad? It was only Roman Reigns and that awful therapy stuff.
That's not true.
It pretty much was. It was like, okay, I mean, we're going to get to it on Wrestling Uncensored, the main show, right? But, I mean, let's get into it a little bit here on the pre-show, John, because the people are upset with you, all right? The Wrestling Uncensored universe is turning on you because you are the heel of this show.
I'm just going to call it the way it is. If people don't like it, it's too bad. But
I'm the last real babyface going, all right?
the last
Take notes.
outlaw?
Take notes, Roman Reigns. You piece of garbage. Roman Reigns cuts a promo. You know? That's how the show starts. And then Roman Reigns has a bunch of matches. And then he has a bunch of backstage promos talking about said matches.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that was pretty much the whole show. Oh, what did you like? Kevin Owens getting tossed over in the porta potty by Braun Strowman? Did you think that was good? Did you think the Bayley and Sasha segments with Dr. Shelby were particularly engaging? Did you like watching No Way Jose and Mojo Rawley have another confrontation? I mean, what exactly did you like on this show, man?
I thought Ember Moon continues to impress. Continues to be like a high spot on Raw, without question. And I know you didn't like all of Roman's stuff, but Roman and Seth against Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler was a great match.
No, it wasn't.
Just like Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins is probably going to be the match of the night at Extreme Rules in the Iron Man match.
No, it won't. Mike Gives Back says, this was way worse than the sister stuff on Raw. I agree.
Really?
Did anybody enjoy Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre? Did anybody like it as much as Johnny did? I didn't like it. I thought it was really just basic stuff. I have not been impressed with Drew McIntyre. He looks good, but like other than that, when he talks, when he wrestles, and with Ziggler, it's just kind of the same old stuff. Antoinette says she liked it, but Antoinette's a big Roman Reigns fan. So I'm sure Antoinette enjoyed Raw because Roman Reigns was on it a lot, and that's okay. Sasha Lagarde says, Raw is the same show every week. Mike Gives Back says, I like Drew McIntyre, but I just can't handle Roman. He says he feels cliche complaining about him, but the dude is so damn boring. And yeah, it's kind of become popular to not like Roman Reigns, and sure, but there's a reason why people don't like Roman Reigns. When it rains, it bores. Roman Reigns is just not a compelling character. The charisma isn't really there. The matches aren't really interesting. He doesn't do anything unique in any kind of way. There's not much there with Roman Reigns. And when you fill a show with a guy like that, it's just not a great show. Mike says, how many times do we have to watch Roman and Bobby against the Revival? Hopefully, by the time Extreme Rules is over, we'll never have to see it again. Because Roman and Bobby are going to wrestle at Extreme Rules, and I don't know. I just read that it was going to be the main event of Extreme Rules.
It's not surprising. Was he not the main event of Backlash?
AJ Styles is a WWE champion.
And who main evented Backlash when AJ was there?
Roman?
That's right.
Who'd he wrestle?
Samoa Joe. No title, nothing on the line really. Just a match. Main event. I don't believe there's anything actually on the line yet with him and Lashley, but you believe the winner would face Brock, right?
Well, they're not even billing it as that.
No, but it seems like it, because they always talk about Brock, how Roman needs to step down. That's what Bobby's saying, that he needs to be the guy. He's not, Roman's not the guy anymore. I find it's actually a good story. Like, I actually want Bobby to go in there and take Roman's spot.
Yes, I do too.
What's wrong with it? I don't understand why you don't like this. Like, you should be wanting this.
No, it is a good story. It's a good story. It's just the execution.
Because we're getting the same matches every week.
Well, we're getting the same matches, and it's just like, it is a good story of Bobby Lashley, this like legit guy who looks the part, who wants to come in from, TNA and get the shot at Brock Lesnar and take Roman's spot and get rid of Roman. That's a good story. The problem is we have to see a lot of Roman in the process. Like, the story is good, but like, you can give terrible performers good stories. It doesn't mean I'm going to want to watch it. The Miz has really good storylines given to him all the time, but I don't enjoy The Miz.
Well,
you see, like, it doesn't... Just because the writers are focusing in on a character doesn't mean it's something I want to watch.
I understand that, but if you want Bobby Lashley to succeed, you want him to advance, he has to take on Roman Reigns. So that means you have to see Roman. He needs to be featured. They need to build the story. So you gotta suffer.
Yeah, look, I understand all that, but the point is Roman should have never been in this spot to begin with. He doesn't have the talent to be a main event guy. That's the fundamental point. He's not good.
They spent years building him. They're not just gonna stop now.
Yeah, I know. Sasha says, Roman is coming off as a hypocrite, saying Bobby's self-centered, yet Roman intentionally doesn't tag Bobby into the match. Are we supposed to feel sympathy for Roman? I don't get it. I don't get it either, really. Mike says, Roman's not a good performer. The writers are terrible, but they can only do so much with him. Antoinette says, blame the writers, it's not Roman. So, both sides. Although, Antoinette, I'm telling you, you're in the minority here, especially in the Wrestling Uncensored universe of Roman Reigns fans. Ahmad Kadri, you're from Washington, D.C. You're new to the universe, my man. I'm sure you listen to the show, and I'm happy that you're on the YouTube show, but I've never heard from Ahmad before, right? But he nails it. He says Roman is good at taking a beating, but just not a performer. I agree. Look, he can take a beating. He can get tossed around. He's a reasonably tough guy. But, like, if all you are is a heavy bag, I mean, I could put a heavy bag in there and have a better match.
It's hard to get the heavy bag to get that kind of reaction, though, that he gets week in, week out.
It's because of the push.
Yeah.
The reaction is because of the push. The reaction isn't because of Roman. Like, it's not Roman. It's the fact that people don't really like this guy and we keep seeing him.
I think it plays a part, though, but his look, his demeanor, the fact that he does lack in some areas, that's also causing the reaction. Because you have this vision of what you see as the perfect wrestler.
Daniel Bryan.
I was thinking something like that, Chris Benoit, Bret Hart, whatever, something like that, right? But you're getting Roman instead, and for you, that's not good enough. So now you're reacting like many other people are.
Yeah, he's not good enough.
But it's mixed, though.
When I watch professional wrestling, I want to see a really good wrestler at the top of the card. I want to see Kenny Omega at the top of my wrestling cards. I don't want to see Roman Reigns. I want to see AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens. Mike says Kevin Owens takes a better beating. Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor all take better beatings than Roman Reigns, and they're more engaging performers. Antoinette says he does more than Brock is doing, sitting at home on his ass with a title that should be at Raw being defended. And yeah, Roman does work harder than Brock. But you know what? When Brock shows up, I actually enjoy the performances.
Brock does deliver, it's no question.
If Roman Reigns showed up 6 times a year, it wouldn't matter. No one would care. It wouldn't mean anything. Brock shows up 3-4 times a year, it's like, oh my God, here's Brock Lesnar. The guy's legitimate. The guy's a real badass. There's something to Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns could never, ever, ever, ever win a title in the UFC. Ever. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to see him at the top of a pro wrestling card. And he can't get a promo like CM Punk. I mean, CM Punk could never, ever, ever win a title in the UFC either. But at least he cuts a hell of a promo. The Rock could never win a UFC title, but man, he cut a hell of a promo. Give me something. Ahmad says that's part of Brock's appeal, part of the storyline. He's not there, but when he shows up, he beats the hell out of everyone. Exactly.
Well, Brock has this larger-than-life feel to him as well, so
I don't think he should be champion right now. He's an attraction. He doesn't need the title. That's my one beef with Brock Lesnar right now. If he wants to work a limited schedule, that's fine. And the Universal Championship isn't really his fault. It's not his fault that he's a champion. That's the WWE that gave him that title. It's the WWE's fault. Don't be mad at Brock Lesnar for showing up when he wants to. Be mad at the WWE for allowing him to hold a major championship in their company longer than anybody since Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Blame the WWE for giving Brock the Universal title for over a year and a half. That's not Brock's fault.
I just find, given that we have so many champions, it's interesting to see them do something different where the champion's not around all the time. So you're waiting for him to finally show up. And it's a big deal when he shows up. It makes the championship matches mean something.
And you want him to drop the title even more.
But then when he didn't drop it at WrestleMania, it made you think. And then he didn't drop it again at the Greatest Rumble. It makes you really wonder, what are they doing? That's fun.
I was shocked when he did not drop the title at WrestleMania.
I was more shocked actually at the Rumble. Because we knew he was coming back, and he hasn't been back since, yet he still walked away as champion. But that's interesting because they've never done anything like this before.
It's interesting because we don't know when Brock Lesnar is A, coming back, or B, done for the time being in the WWE, or done for good. Like, there's a lot of questions around Brock Lesnar. We don't know if he's going to go to the UFC. We don't know. But you know what? We may have some questions answered Saturday night at UFC 226. There are strong rumors that Brock is going to show up and challenge either DC or Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight championship. Rumors that he's going to be at the event and maybe even stepping into the octagon after the fight to get himself a heavyweight title shot.
So I guess people got to tune in your post show to find out.
That's right. I'll be back here on YouTube right after UFC 226 with AJ. So that's going to be crazy. AJ's coming over. Mike says, how would I realistically book Roman going forward? That's a tough one. Am I doing it based on my wildest fantasies and what I want to do for Roman, or am I doing it based on what would be acceptable to Vince McMahon and the WWE universe, you know? If I were to book Roman, I'd have Roman tag team with Seth for the rest of his life.
It's not bad. It's a long time, but
I would keep him in a group. I'd keep him as a tag team guy or something, you know? Maybe you drift him up to the main event once in a while. But, like, say the immediate future, like what I would do with Roman Reigns. I would have him lose to Bobby Lashley. And then I would have him in a lesser feud with Kevin Owens. Okay? So you lose to Lashley, and then you feud with Owens after Owens gets embarrassed by Braun Strowman. And then in that feud, he loses to Kevin Owens. I would have Roman lose to a lot of guys that you wouldn't expect him to lose to. And I think by doing that, you build sympathy for Roman and you reduce the reason to hate him. Why do people hate Roman Reigns? Because he beats all your favorite wrestlers and he stays at the top of the card. So push him down the card and have him lose to some of your favorite wrestlers. Have Roman lose clean to Finn Balor. Have him lose to Kevin Owens in a long program. Like, if Roman Reigns entered a program with Kevin Owens after losing to Bobby Lashley, I think everybody would expect Roman Reigns to whoop on Kevin Owens. So why not go the other way? Why not go the other way? Have Roman in a significant feud with somebody you expect him to beat and have him lose. I think by doing that, you say, oh, well, okay, maybe they're not shoving Roman down our throats. Maybe they're not making the whole show about this guy. I would reduce the amount of Roman that we see, and I would have him lose to guys you wouldn't expect him to lose for a little while before something happens and he gets a big win. Like maybe John Cena comes back at some point and says, Roman Reigns, you've been doing really terrible. You beat me last time we were in the ring. I think I'm going to come back and get my revenge on you. And then Roman beats Cena. And you're like, oh, okay, well. And then Roman could beat somebody else, and then you slowly bring him back up the card. That's what I would do for Roman. Ahmad says WWE's in a tough position. They need Brock's appeal to sell their events because others aren't stepping up. He says WWE needs more Daniel Bryans. If they can get them, they won't need a Brock. That's true, but there's only so many guys like Daniel Bryan out there.
Daniel Bryan wants to work a limited schedule, so
he deserves it. More limited than he's working right now. Well, what do you think about that with Roman? Having him feud with KO, like, because we've seen KO get decimated by Braun Strowman, embarrassed. He's gonna lose to Braun Strowman at Extreme Rules. KO needs to be brought back up because, when I watch Raw, the one guy I want to see is Kevin Owens. I mean, can we agree on that at least? That Kevin Owens is our favorite guy to watch on Raw? Can you please? I mean, come on, you know the guy.
Yeah, Kevin's great. And I definitely think he's going to probably feud with Roman in the near distant future.
Yeah, but don't you want to see him win that feud? Like, it would be good for Kevin Owens to win, and it would be good for Roman Reigns to lose.
The thing is, he already did beat Roman in a feud. When he was Universal Champion, Kevin, he beat Roman at the Rumble. And he went on to face Goldberg. He didn't beat Goldberg, but he moved on from Roman Reigns. He got the last win. If anything, they're going to give the win back to Roman now.
Doesn't help Roman. It doesn't help Roman make people want to see Roman become champion again. Doesn't help. I don't know.
Well, time will tell now with this Bobby Lashley match, right? Where are we going with this? Does a win mean we get Lashley and Lesnar, which I think we need to see happen? Because it seems like the window of opportunity for that match to ever happen, it's very close. Like, it's probably going to be over after SummerSlam.
SummerSlam is the time to do it. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam is the match. Like, if you don't make that one-on-one, you're slipping.
And we've seen Roman. I mean, fine, sure, make it a three-way, make it a four-way, whatever, but you got to have Lashley and Lesnar. Because it will never happen again, probably.
Antoinette is like disagreeing all over the place. She's like, no Bobby and Brock. She says it's boring. She doesn't want to see Roman and Kevin Owens. She thinks that's boring. Well, what would you prefer, Antoinette? Do you want to see Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns again? Because I find that boring. I feel like we've seen that time and time again, and I don't really want to see it. To me, Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar is the match to make. It's the match to make right now. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, two MMA guys, have them wrestle at SummerSlam. It makes the most sense. She wants to see Braun and Brock. We've seen that before, and frankly, it wasn't that great. I'd rather see Bobby and Brock with Braun cashing in and then taking the title at SummerSlam. I want to see Brock wrestle Bobby, beat Bobby, because in a real fight, Brock would beat Bobby.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a better record than Brock in MMA, but okay.
Against who?
Still, like...
Still? No, still. If you're fighting jabronis and you win 30 fights, who cares?
In the heavyweight division, like...
No. What? You know who Brock Lesnar beat? You know who Brock Lesnar's fought? Who's Bobby Lashley ever beat?
Yeah, that is true. There's no question about that. But 15 wins. You can't just diminish that and say, oh, that was nothing.
16 tomato cans, baby. Ahmad wants to see Daniel Bryan versus Brock. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think the match would be incredible. And I know Daniel Bryan wants it, and I believe Daniel Bryan should get whatever he wants. Daniel Bryan is the best. Ahmad says he's just a huge Daniel Bryan fan. Because Mike says Ahmad wants to see Daniel Bryan get retired. Which, could happen, and that's the danger with Brock. He doesn't care about his fellow wrestler, so he may hurt Daniel Bryan, and that's my concern with the match. I love Daniel Bryan too much to want to see him go through that. But if Bryan wants to do it, and the WWE wants to do it, I'd be down for it. I think the match would be incredible.
I don't know if we're ever going to get it. I mean, for it to happen, Brock would have to stay up to WrestleMania. And it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
I don't know. I'm still like... Bobby Lashley never beat anybody. He never beat anybody.
To win...
You're trying to compare him to Brock Lesnar's MMA career? Brock Lesnar beat Shane Carwin in his prime. Do you remember the Shane Carwin fight? Do you remember how much of a monster Shane Carwin fought?
And that was Brock in his prime too, though.
Bobby Lashley has never fought anybody anywhere near the caliber of, like, Heath Herring or Randy Couture. Didn't James Thompson beat Bobby Lashley?
I think because Bobby, gassed out, if I'm not mistaken.
James Thompson beat Bobby Lashley. Hold on, I gotta go back. Now you're really offending me with this stuff, John. Bobby Lashley is a great UFC, WWE wrestler. He's a good wrestler, and he's accomplished in mixed martial arts. I'm not trying to say he's not. But when you lose to James the Colossus Thompson, you're not at the level of a Brock Lesnar. Brock's lost to 3 guys. Mir, Overeem, Velasquez. You know what would happen to Bobby Lashley if he would step into an octagon with Cain Velasquez? You would get smoked.
Would he get smoked against Brock? You really think he'd get smoked?
Yeah, man!
He'd get smoked.
Well, you obviously don't know what you're talking about then. You're out of your depth. James Thompson lost... Oh, you know what? Bobby beat James Thompson, though, in the rematch. So, okay. So, Bobby... But still. Kimbo beat James Thompson. Kimbo Slice. That's more Bobby's speed. I mean, not anymore, obviously. Rest in peace, Kimbo. But that's more Bobby's speed. Kimbo Slice.
I think it was tough for Bobby because he did MMA and wrestling back and forth. I don't know if that helped him. In terms of fighting the best in MMA, preparing for the best in MMA,
He never challenged the best in MMA. He fought in low level organizations. He never went to the UFC.
because his focus wasn't 100% there. You see why Brock takes such a long time off, because he's able to have that training camp. Bobby like kind of rushed everything.
He never really challenged himself. And he's too old now to ever. But yeah, no. I think Brock would demolish Bobby Lashley. It's a different world. There's levels to this game. Antoinette wants to see Johnny North versus Brock. I'd like to see that too.
I wouldn't mind it.
Ahmad says Johnny North should make Kane's first entrance in WWE and confront Brock. I don't get it.
Like Cain Velasquez is gonna. Cause remember Kane wanted to.
No, Kane, like, by God, it's got to be...
Oh, by God, Kane. Okay.
You should do like a Kane gimmick and get Brock. I don't know. Didn't you want to review a movie on this thing?
Oh, the first Purge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the prequel to all the Purge movies that have come out. Yeah, I don't think you've seen any of the Purge movies. Do you know what it's about? Like.
Yeah, it's like one day everybody, like, murder is allowed. You've told me about this before, right? Haven't you reviewed one of these movies before?
12-hour period, not like a whole day. 12-hour period.
Whatever.
And this is how, I guess, this is the first time they ever did it in Staten Island. And I was looking forward to seeing a lot of death, but it was mainly they just targeted like black people, so that wasn't very enjoyable. They got the KKK to go in there, and it was just disgusting actually watching that instead.
What?
Yeah, it was horrible actually.
Sounds like a pretty racist movie you went to go see.
It was very racist, unfortunately, because it was very politically driven, because the politics were corrupt. So they just wanted death, and it's a great way to kill off black people. Well, KKK don't like black people, so they did that. Mercenaries. So it kind of sucked, but it you know, you got your good guys, you got your bad guys, right, off that.
So the white people were the bad guys?
Yes, white people were definitely the bad guys.
Good call. Good call.
But it was horrible too. Like, ooh.
Were all the white people trying to kill the black people? It was just like a
good chunk, a very good chunk.
Huh.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't like that in the other Purge movies too. Like, it was just, you know, chaos. But this was planned. It was kind of sickening.
Well, it sounds like a pretty bad movie. Did you like it?
I enjoyed the fact that the bad guys got theirs in the end, so that was nice.
Ahmad says everything's so politically driven these days, and he's checking in from Washington, D.C., so he would know, right? Antoinette says, is it worth seeing?
I think if you like the other Purge movies, because it goes along with the story, but that'd be about it. I wouldn't jump into this right now.
Sasha says, so Trump is producing movies now?
Oof. I'm not allowed to get political, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to, you can. Go for it, man. Go for it. Let's see how the universe reacts to your political views.
There was no Trump references whatsoever in the movie. I was looking for it, but I didn't see any.
Antoinette wants to know, was there a wall, Johnny?
It was on an island, so no.
Nobody had to build a wall?
No. They had people come in on boats. I think the KKK came on boats.
Okay. So, positive, negative? You didn't like it?
I think if you enjoyed the past Purge movies...
Did you?
I enjoyed 2 of them.
So you like this one?
It was alright. Because the ending was satisfactory. But that was about it. It wasn't the best Purge movie, without question. But I didn't mind it.
Antoinette says, on 10, what do you give it?
6.
6 on 10. Mike says he thinks race was the missing thing from the older movies. If the Purge actually existed, it'd be an excuse for white supremacists to purge people of color. Oh. Maybe it would be. I don't know. That seems like a really horrible idea, though. like a 12-hour period, you can just kill people. What's the goal behind that? Population control?
Pretty much. Wipe out the poor people was a big part of it.
Oh, right, because people with money could just hire. Right, I think we've talked about this before. It's
Probably
terrible.
In the past Bird movies, yeah.
It's a really weird concept. I don't know why people are making movies about this. Are there any really good movies coming out, Johnny, in the near future? Like, you must see the trailers, right? Anything good coming that you're excited about?
I think the Rock's movie's coming out in a week or two. Skyscraper.
No, he said anything good.
I enjoy The Rock. I look forward to new Mission Possible. I think it comes out end of July. Again, I know you don't like Tom Cruise, you don't like action movies whatsoever, but I enjoy that stuff.
I watched the Netflix series Unsolved this week.
I saw 6 episodes.
About Biggie and Tupac. You saw 6 episodes?
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it.
It's good, right?
It's fun learning about the history of why they were beefing. I didn't know about that kind of stuff.
See, I knew a lot of the stuff going in.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm a big Biggie fan.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tupac, but I'm a Biggie fan. Okay?
Okay.
Biggie baby. And like I knew a lot of the stuff about it, but I learned a lot. And now I watched this show Unsolved on Netflix, which was like a drama about the Biggie and Pac murders and investigations by both Russell Poole and Greg Kading. The initial investigation in the 90s and then the revisit of the investigation because of the LAPD getting sued by Valletta Wallace and Russell Poole.
So 2006.
That was in 2006, yeah, and 97. But like I know a lot of this already, but I really I learned a lot. It was really good to watch. And then I watched another 6-part documentary series right after, because if you see at the end of Unsolved, it says Keefe D, who was the Southside Crip, he didn't kill Tupac, but like his nephew Orlando Anderson probably shot Tupac from the back of the car.
They found his gun.
They found a gun. Keefe D was involved. Keefe D was involved in Pac's killing, and Keefe D is still alive. If you're out there, Keefe D, go F yourself. How dare you, man? Like, you killed Tupac. What the hell? Keefe D. I don't like Keefe D. But anyways, in this documentary, The Death Row Chronicles, I watched all 6 parts. Very good documentary. If you liked Unsolved, I would recommend you check out The Death Row Chronicles. It aired on BET earlier this year. And Keefe D admitted on that documentary that he was in the car that killed Tupac.
Well, because in Unsolved, they thought he shot Biggie. Because there was the conflict of was he there, was he not?
Yeah, there was. Well, you haven't seen the whole series yet. There was a question whether or not Keefe D maybe killed Biggie, and the theory was that Puff Daddy, he hired Keefe D and his gang of Southside Crips as protection when they were in California against Suge Knight, because Suge Knight had aligned himself with the Mob, the Bloods, the Pyru, right?
Right.
So apparently when Keefe and his crew killed Tupac, they felt like Puffy had told them or had implied that he wanted Tupac dead. So Keefe D went to collect money from Pac, allegedly, or not Pac. Keefe D went to collect money from Puff Daddy, and Puff Daddy didn't want to pay out.
This was at the party.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But Keefe D was at that party, and he did speak to Biggie at the Peterson Auto Museum the night that Biggie got shot. Keefe D was there. But it's not clear that Keefe D killed Biggie in retaliation. So it's possible that Keefe D was involved in the murders of Biggie and Tupac, but the going theory is that Suge Knight in jail paid a guy named Poochie to kill Biggie as retaliation for the Tupac murders, because Suge Knight was in the car with Tupac when he got shot. He saw Keefe D. He knew it was the Southside Crips, and he knew that Puffy was involved with the Southside Crips, paying them for protection. So Suge, in retaliation for Pac's murder, allegedly paid a guy named Poochie to kill the notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace. Poochie is dead, and the guy who may have shot Tupac, Orlando Anderson, is also dead. So unfortunately, no one will ever do time for the murders of Biggie and Tupac. Still unsolved. Almost, 20 years later. Over 20 years later. It's sad, man. It makes me sad thinking about it. It makes me real sad. We'll always love Big Papa.
Terrible tragedy. The way
and they still haven't found Triple X Tentacion's killers. They arrested one guy. There's other people still at large. They still haven't found Triple X's killers. They still haven't found Jam Master Jay's killer. You could just let rappers die and nothing happens? Makes me mad. You know? Still don't know who killed Jam Master Jay. Original founding member of Run DMC. Gunned down in his studio. Still don't know. No one's ever been locked up for Jam Master Jay. No one's ever been locked up for Biggie, for Tupac. Triple X Tentacion's killer still at large.
Sucks.
Yep. All right, can we wrap this up? We got to get to the Real Wrestling Uncensored show. This thing's been going for like almost an hour here. We got any final questions? I see Sasha message Wally. Where's Wally? Wally out in Ireland's not here. He's like usually here.
Can't be in every show.
Maybe he's still at the pub watching the football match, you know? He watched the France match, I'm sure, and he's getting ready for Brazil and Belgium. He's probably just drinking.
Getting ready for the Ringside Report tonight, maybe. Who knows?
Yo, 5 a.m. Ireland time, midnight Eastern. Ahmad says, it was my first time here, guys, but I listen to your podcast every week. I'm usually working Friday, but when I do have a day off, I'll definitely join again. It's great to meet all of you. Ahmad Kadri out in Washington, D.C., thank you for joining us, man, on your first time here on the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. It was good. Good comments and stuff. A regular listener. It's always good for me to discover new people that listen to Wrestling Uncensored and Ringside Report Radio. Like every week, it's good to know that you guys are out there. I may not hear from you, but I like to know that you're out there, and it's great when you check in. Hey, follow me on Instagram, by the way, Dave Simon MMA. I'm on Instagram now, and I'm going to do a giveaway when I get to 100 followers, which like can't be that hard. I've got over 1,000 on Twitter, so it's like 10%. Go join me on Instagram, and I'll give away that Raw book to one of you at random. So follow me on Instagram at Dave Simon MMA, Twitter at Dave Simon MMA. I keep it real simple. Franco Nardolillo says, is Rey Mysterio coming back? Franco followed me on Instagram. Shout out to you, Franco. Rey Mysterio is coming back to the WWE. I think it's safe to say, right? You see the ad on the video game. Usually when they promote the hell out of you on that video game, it means they're about to bring you back. They did it with Goldberg. They did it with Kurt Angle. They're going to do it with Ray Ray.
I heard there's a rumor that he signed like a 2-year deal. I don't know if it's kicked in yet or it's going to happen, but apparently it's in the works.
Can I say that I'm disappointed by that?
Why?
I feel like he didn't fulfill the obligation for New Japan. He did one match in a 6-man. He was supposed to wrestle Liger one-on-one, but he got hurt. I feel like he didn't do what he kind of promised he was going to do in New Japan. He started an angle with Marty Scurll. He started a thing with Will Ospreay. He still had the match with Liger to do. I feel like there are better opportunities for him in New Japan. More fun. The matches will be more fun.
Well, even if he signed a contract, he still has to fulfill all his indie dates. So as long as they've already committed to something in New Japan, something's going to happen.
I don't know. I don't know. There are rumors that he signed. Sasha says he signed this morning. Antoinette saying that that's just a rumor. I don't know.
I think it's going to happen. You're definitely going to see Ray back in WWE. Just is it going to be soon or later? We don't know yet.
I think Ray is going to come back real soon to the WWE. And I don't know if he'll ever wrestle in New Japan again. He did Dominion, and maybe that's it.
He'll be at All In. He's confirmed for that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's confirmed for that.
That's September 1st. So don't expect Ray until September 2nd, right?
Again, you got to fulfill your dates, right? So, I mean, if they need Ray for SummerSlam, they'll use him, and he has to go to All In, fine.
Marty Scurll's going to wrestle Kazuchika Okada at All In. They announced that this week. That's pretty cool. Scurll deserves it. He's a top talent, but he doesn't get booked in the heavyweight division because he's a junior heavyweight. But he deserves a match with Okada. He's good enough to have an incredible match with him. Marty Scurll is one of these guys that could be huge in WWE if they decided to pick him up. And if he decided to go. Scurll is amazing. I'm a big fan of the villain.
I think they have a great opportunity right here because it's already sold out. You don't have to worry about drawing people in with your card, but now you can put them on matches that people have never seen before, matches you've always wanted to do but couldn't do before. It's really a unique opportunity they have.
They get to book their own show.
Exactly what they've done.
And don't forget, New Japan, the show in San Francisco is tomorrow. The Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes title match goes down tomorrow.
Wow.
Pretty big, right?
That's huge, actually, yeah.
I'm excited about that. Mike says the villain has one of the coolest gimmicks in wrestling. I agree. Too sweet. Ooh, ooh. The entrance is fantastic. The music, the entrance, the bird thing, the mask, the whole gimmick. He is brilliant. Huge fan of Marty Scurll. Is there any pre-show tomorrow? No pre-show for UFC 226, but AJ and I will be back here on this spot, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net for the UFC 226 post-show. Right after the pay-per-view, will we have a new heavyweight champion? Will Stipe retain? We'll find out. And we'll probably talk some New Japan as well because the New Japan show in San Francisco goes down at like 8 p.m. on Saturday night, and then the UFC pay-per-views at 10 p.m., so I'll be watching both.
It's a long day for you tomorrow.
It's just a good night. A lot of fun. Franco will be there. Antoinette will be there. The whole crew will be there. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for commenting. Big shout out to Franco, Antoinette, Mike, Robert Kloos, Sasha Lagarde, Ahmad Kadri. Great seeing you here, man. Andy in England. Heading out to Russia. Mike gives back. I think I mentioned him, right?
Twice is okay.
Yeah, there you go. Mike, you get a double shot. All right? All right. All right. This has been the Wrestling Uncensored post-show, pre-show. Pre-show? Pre-show.
I hope it's a pre.
Pre-show. Allez les Bleus. Bring on Brazil.
Go England.